Good morning. My name is Andrew Fellows, and I'm the mayor of College Park. I'd like to welcome you on this beautiful day here this morning in the spring launch of the Street Smart campaign and the bicycle safety campaign. Street Smart is a region-wide effort to raise awareness about pedestrian and bicycle safety and to reduce fatalities and injuries in our area. We are particularly pleased at College Park to be hosting the launch of this campaign because this is really a cause that's dear to our hearts. We've had issues with pedestrian safety in the recent past, and we've been working really hard to improve safety of pedestrians and bicyclists in our community with our own Walk Smart College Park campaign, and we're proud for the opportunity to also support for the regional Street Smart campaign. We're pleased to have the following supporting agencies and individuals with us today from across the region. First, Prince George's County, also Maryland Department of Transportation, the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles, the District of Columbia Department of Transportation, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, Riverdale Park Police Department, and other police departments from across the region. Thank you all for your service every day. And also Gwendolyn Ward with a personal story. So I want to again thank you all for being here today to support this important initiative. And I want to welcome our first speaker, and that's Milton Chaffee, who's the Maryland MVA, Motor Vehicle Administration and Governor's Highway Safety Representative for Maryland. Milton.
Good morning. As the mayor said, I am the administrator of Maryland Motor Vehicles and also the Governor's Highway Safety Representative. I want to thank the Street Smart Committee for asking me to be here today. Of course, I also want to thank the Virginia and District of Columbia also for being here, and the rest of Maryland. The safety of pedestrians and bicyclists is a priority of the Maryland Department of Transportation. Unfortunately, here in Maryland, pedestrian death counts for almost 20% of the traffic-related fatalities. Spring is particularly an active time for pedestrians and bicyclists, and we need to get the word out now that drivers and pedestrians must both do their part to make sure we have safe roads. To the drivers, I have two simple messages. First thing is, slow down. One study showed that 80% of pedestrians struck by a vehicle going at 40 miles an hour will die. At 30 miles per hour, the likelihood of death drops 40%. And at 20 miles per hour, the rate of death goes down to 5%. Driver speed plays a vital part in the event of a pedestrian crash. Number two, always pay attention. This makes sense around intersections, but also drivers need to expect the unexpected. This past year, there have been several people struck while on major highways while trying to cross the street at night. Clearly, the drivers were not expecting those situations, and this unpredictability illustrates the need to devote full time to your driving. Our pedestrians and bicyclists, your lives may also literally depend upon your being predictable and visible. Make eye contact with drivers before you cross the roadway, and always cross at crosswalks or other designated road crossings. If you're walking at night, wear bright clothes or something reflective. Do whatever it takes to be visible as possible. Impairment has played a part in deaths of many pedestrians who were found to be at fault because they were too impaired to walk. Now, I don't want to discourage people from bicycling or walking. However, if you're impaired, take a cab or get a friend to come and get you. We also have an app that we launched last year that's available on iTunes and Google Play called NDUI. This app can also be used by pedestrians to find a cab or call their friends. I encourage everyone to going out to use this app to make plans to get home safely. Maryland has been involved in the Street Smart campaign for many years because, quite honestly, in combination of education and enforcement is the best way to affect change in people's behavior. Pedestrians, bicyclist safety is one of the pillars of the Maryland Strategic Highway Safety Plan. The Highway Safety Plan is action-oriented and in Maryland's blueprint to reduce motor vehicle injuries and fatalities, bringing together partners in engineering, education, and enforcement. Here in College Park, the 3 E's of engineering, enforcement, and education came together to enhance public safety along U.S. Route 1. Last year, Maryland State Highway Administrator Melinda Peters worked very closely with the University of Maryland and the town of College Park to make that happen. Together, they implemented several engineering improvements, including a lower speed limit, median fencing, and new devices that guide pedestrians to safely cross US 1. These efforts are being coupled with our Street Smart education campaign and enforcement of pedestrian safety laws by police from the university, the College of College Park, and Prince George's County. Combined approaches will allow us to reduce ultimately and eliminate these needless deaths. Unfortunately, tragedies do occur, as you will hear from our next guest, Ms. Gwendolyn Ward. I will let her tell the story. So once again, thank you to our partners. Gwendolyn.
Good morning. Sorry I was so far in the back. I want to thank everybody for inviting me. This has really helped me get through this tragic experience, losing Christina on Halloween in 2012. The 3-year anniversary of Christina's passing is approaching in October. Though it has been very hard for our family, I try to make the best out of this tragedy that we experienced. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. Christina would have graduated this year. And yes, still to this day is very hard for our family to accept, especially with her being one of the last ones to walk across the stage and receive her diploma. Coming out to speak about this experience is very therapeutic for me and pushes me to keep Christina's legacy going. With spring and summer approaching, even though today it doesn't feel like spring, I'm asking that you all continue to help with this fight that I am fighting, with keeping our loved ones safe and secure the best way that we know how. There will be many extracurricular activities going on, so that means that there will be a lot of people out and about. I am asking that we keep our ears and eyes open and pay close attention to our surroundings. Please, please, please help me to continue to get this message out. Keep promoting and advocating pedestrian and bicyclist safety. Educate your family, friends, and coworkers, and continue to help us with this cause. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for the continued support in acknowledging my baby girl, Christina Morris Ward, and promoting this important cause. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chief David Morris, Riverdale Park Police Department, and it's my pleasure to be here today to speak on behalf of local, county, and state law enforcement throughout the Washington metropolitan area. Stories like Gwendolyn Ward's are heart-wrenching. Unfortunately, there's too many stories that are very similar. They're equally gut-wrenching. They're gut-wrenching because we think of these losses in terms of numbers. Christina was a person. These are husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, children. And it's important that we remember they're people, not statistics. As first responders, we see every day the damage, the carnage as a result of those that would fail to obey our highway traffic safety rules. If the thought of injury and death is not sufficient enough to cause drivers to be more careful, take a look at the women and men that are standing to my right. They will provide more than sufficient reason to slow down and obey our traffic safety laws. Maryland Virginia, Washington law enforcement will be increasing our enforcement efforts across the region. We'll be issuing warnings and citations. If you're driving, slow down, stop for people in crosswalks. If you're biking, obey the signs and the signals. Ride in the direction of the traffic. If you're walking, use the crosswalks and obey the walk signals. Fines for violating traffic safety laws range from $40 to $500. So whether you're walking, biking, or driving, stay safe and be street smart. This time I'd like to introduce Mr. John Saunders, Director of Highway Safety for the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank Chief Morris for his remarks, and also all the work that you do and all of your staff do also, and also the many courageous enforcement officers that each day put their lives on the line for each and every one of us. I want to thank them and all of our first responders who do that for us. I would also like to recognize and thank each of the prestigious speakers that I have the honor to stand with today as we kick off this very important life-saving initiative. DMV's Virginia Highway Safety Office is also very proud to support the Washington Metropolitan Council on Governments to administer the Street Smart program in the Northern Virginia area of Alexandria, Arlington, Fairfax, and Prince William County. We thank you for the opportunity to get the message out to everyone to be street smart. As Chief Morris reminded us, throughout the area, law enforcement agencies will be conducting high visibility enforcement activities during the Street Smart Awareness Campaign. And we know that combining education, enforcement, and outreach, we can have a positive impact on behavior. Pedestrian and bicycle safety is a serious highway safety issue and one that deserves everyone's attention. It seems that not a week goes by that we don't see in the news or hear of a tragic and needless pedestrian or bicycle fatality. I want to also reiterate that the numbers that I'm going to speak about are not just numbers, but are individuals. Like Christina, there's a family behind each one of these numbers that we talk about, like the Ward family. In 2014, Virginia reported a record of 700 highway safety fatalities, exactly 700 too many. Out of that 700, 102 of those fatalities were attributed to pedestrian and bicycle crashes. A close look at the numbers shows that 90 of the 102 fatalities were pedestrians, and that 58% of the crashes were the driver's fault. 70% of the pedestrian fatalities occurred on an urban roadway, and 70% of those urban fatalities were not in a marked intersection. 60% of these fatalities occurred between 6 p.m. and midnight, and 33% of the pedestrian fatalities had been drinking. Pedestrian and bicycle safety begins with each of us. I want to remind all of the users of our roadways to be street smart. All of us at times are pedestrians, and while walking, we must always be alert and walk safely. When walking or running during low light conditions or at night, pedestrians should wear light-colored reflective clothing and carry a flashlight. Not crossing at intersections or crosswalks is the leading cause of pedestrian fatalities. Always cross at a crosswalk. And like we've always been taught since we were children, always look both ways. Don't walk distracted. Put that phone away and focus on the traffic conditions that are around you. I would also need to remind our pedestrians to walk or run facing traffic. In addition, as I noted in our numbers, we've observed an increasing number of our pedestrian fatalities involve alcohol. Walking while impaired increases the chances of being struck and killed. I would like to give the same message to those who plan to drink and walk that I do to those who plan to drink and drive. Don't do it. Get a designated driver, call a taxi or one of the transportation networks, a family member or a friend. Plan and make good decisions. Let's now look at the bicycle fatalities. We know that both cyclists and drivers make mistakes that continue to contribute to crashes. But when crashes happen involving bicyclists and a motor vehicle, it is the cyclists who will likely be injured or killed. Last year in Virginia, there were 12 bicycle fatalities. 10 of the 12 fatalities were not helmeted. Drivers were the fault, again, 58% of the time. The same numbers we talked about regarding the pedestrians. The top driver action for crashes involving bikes for the last 3 years, not having a right-of-way and failure to maintain control. I would like to remind bicyclists to always wear a helmet. Wear reflective clothing. If you ride at night, have the appropriate lights both on the front and the rear of your bicycle. Ride with the flow of traffic, obey the rules of the road, and never ride impaired or distracted. Again, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to come before you today. And a final note, we are proud in Central Virginia this year to be hosting what is known as the 2015 Road World Cycling Championships. This will be a 9-day event from September 19th through 27th and will bring 1,000 athletes and 450,000 spectators to Central Virginia. DMV's Virginia Highway Safety Office will also be working with Richmond 2015, a nonprofit organization that has been formed to organize the event for the city of Richmond to publicize the importance of bicycle safety messages through our Show the World campaign. Again, I would like to thank our partners and enforcement and with the Metropolitan Washington Council on Governments for putting pedestrian and bicycle safety in the forefront in Northern Virginia through Street Smart, and to remind everyone to always walk, bike, and drive safely, and to always be street smart. I want to thank you for your attention, and now I would like to introduce Mr. Sam Zimbabwe, who is the Associate Director of the Policy and Planning and Sustainability Administration, D.C. Department of Transportation. Mr. Sam Zimbabwe.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning. The rain is starting again, so I'll try to be quick. I'm Sam Zimbabwe. I'm the Associate Director for Policy and Planning it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of the District Department of Transportation today to help kick off the 2015 Street Smart campaign for the spring. We're really proud to be a co-sponsor of the Tired Faces campaign that you see to my left as they go up around the region this spring. But as startling and as dramatic as they are to be effective, the message they send has to be backed up by enforcement, and as I am today by engineering, as I am today by enforcement as well. The 3 E's approach to traffic safety, the combination of engineering, education, and enforcement, has a long history, and for good reason, because it works. We in the district have embraced a Vision Zero approach to transportation safety, and Mayor Bowser in just the first few months has elevated the profile of safety within DDOT and within the district government overall. Over 15 agencies are partnering with DDOT on Vision Zero, and the 3 E's approach is the cornerstone of our work to eliminate all traffic fatalities within 10 years. Changing the traffic safety culture is critical if we're to counter the notion that traffic fatalities are simply the cost of doing business in a large and congested region. We don't accept that anyone should die from a traffic crash in the district, and to do that, we all need to work together. One good place to start is by slowing down, and this applies to everyone. No single factor is more important for the safety of vulnerable road users like pedestrians and bicyclists than restraining vehicle speeds. And speeds affects the severity of crashes, especially for our older and younger users who are the most vulnerable. One way we are calming traffic in the district is by investing in our streets so they can serve all users. The first E, that engineering piece. We're just finishing up a safety project on Sheriff Road Northeast. This is a heavy commuter route that has long been the source of community complaints about speeding and pedestrian crossing safety. We added pedestrian refuge islands at 8 intersections along a mile stretch, which have been shown to reduce pedestrian crashes by over a half by FHWA research. And we know that better bicycling facilities not only encourages more cycling, but makes it safer for everyone. Last year we installed a record 9 miles of new bike lanes in the district, including protected bike lanes that connect our trails to major transportation hubs like Union Station and on M Street Northwest crossing downtown. This year we're going to be continuing to focus on filling in some of the gaps in our network so nobody ever has to ride where they feel unsafe. The third E, that enforcement piece, is just as critical. And that's why DC's Metropolitan Police Department, like police departments across the region, will be stepping up enforcement of laws that protect pedestrians and bicyclists. So remember, if you're driving, watch for people. Watch for people in crosswalks, stop for walkers, give bicyclists room to ride safely. Expect the unexpected and be ready to react. If you're biking, obey signs and signals and ride in the direction of traffic. Be predictable, be visible, do what's expected, be aware, and be safe. If you're walking, cross in the crosswalk, wait for the signal, be aware of your surroundings and pay attention to what's going on around you. It will take education, enforcement, and engineering solutions to dramatically improve walking and biking conditions and behaviors. And DDOT is committed to partnering with local agencies and programs from across the region like we do with Street Smart, and to do our part to make all forms of transportation as safe as possible. It's my pleasure now to introduce Mr. Barry Stanton, the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety in Prince George's County, here on behalf of County Executive Rashawn Baker. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Sorry that the county executive couldn't be here this morning. An emergency came up, so he asked that I come this morning and provide remarks. Thank you, Mayor Fellows, for hosting this important safety event here in College Park, and to the Washington Council of Governments for inviting the county executive here today to help kick off the Spring Smart, Street Smart campaign, and to welcome all of you to Prince George's County. I would like to first acknowledge a few individuals here with me today. Dr. B. Tigner, Municipal Liaison, if she's here. Mr. Brad Fromm, the Assistant Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. Mr. Darrell Mobley, our Director of Department of Public Works and Transportation. Darrell. I would also like to acknowledge the representatives and law enforcement officers here today from our public safety agencies that are working to make Prince George's County safe for all of us here today. Let's give all the public safety people a round of applause also. You know, each day we are finding more people than ever are walking and biking in the county. This is exciting and is helping to create more vibrant and engaging communities. However, enhanced bicycle and pedestrian activity also presents challenges. Unfortunately, within the National Capital Region, Prince George's County has the highest number of reported pedestrian-related traffic collisions and fatalities. The Maryland State Highway Administration Accident Records Database provides a list of pedestrian collisions ranked by the top 50 roadway sections. From 2009 to 2013, 16 of those segments are in Prince George's County. And in 2014, there were 23 fatalities. We have asked our staff and the responsible agencies to do everything within their power to address this critical issue. And I am proud to say that significant progress has been made. The Department of Public Works and Transportation has been implementing pedestrian safety improvements throughout the county, including on Edmondson Road and the Greenbelt Complete Streets project, like Ager Road and Harry S. Truman Drive, which both connect to Metro Station. We are refreshing crosswalks in and around their schools, monitoring school flashers to ensure they are working properly, and repairing the sidewalks. In addition, the county was awarded $1 million in Safe Routes to Schools funding, which will implement pedestrian safety improvements along the Marlboro Pike corridor, which is the county maintained roadway with the highest number of pedestrian collisions and fatalities. You know, I would like to offer a special thanks again to law enforcement and first responders for their tireless work to enforce traffic safety laws and respond to emergencies and keep all our citizens out of harm's way. Our police department has been very active in addressing pedestrian safety through enforcement efforts focusing on changing poor driver and pedestrian habits, such as aggressive driving, jaywalking, and crosswalk violations, as well as educating community groups in pedestrian and bicycle safety using street smart resources. In fact, immediately following this press conference, members of the Prince George's County Police Department will be on hand to provide enforcement efforts at Guilford Drive and US 1. US 1 in College Park has been the site of numerous pedestrian collisions and fatalities and has the second highest collision rate in the county. The highest collision rate, and specifically 3 tragic fatalities last year, galvanized the community into action. Since then, the county, the state, the university, both the administration and students, and the city of College Park, as well as law enforcement, have responded magnificently with truly coordinated effort, launching a major campaign, resulting in improvements being made on US 1 by the State Highway Administration. I would like to acknowledge former council member Eric Olson and current council member Daniela Glaros and Mr. Todd Turner for their leadership and pedestrian safety. Let's give them a round of applause. Especially for their efforts here in College Park and in neighboring Riverdale Park. You know, this is a collaborative effort, such as those taken here in College Park, that we believe will help us turn the corner in reducing pedestrian crashes. That is why it is critical to let the data lead us to where we can make the most impactful decisions in redirecting resources and utilizing all of the ease of enforcement, engineering, emergency services, and education in addressing this critical matter. That is where Street Smart comes in as essential to the larger pedestrian and bicycle safety efforts and has been a powerful, positive force in providing a comprehensive public education campaign built on the message of tired faces. I am sure that you have seen this campaign at bus shelters, the gas stations, on top of gas pumps, on and in buses, heard it on the radio, and now seen it on the TV. The messaging is aimed at both drivers and pedestrians, as we all have a part to play in creating a safe environment. As evidenced by the tremendous level of participation here today, this is an effort that will take all of us, government, businesses, neighborhoods, and the community working together. So I would like to thank the Washington Council of Governments and all the regional partners for their leadership in this vital effort, and the City of College Park for their hard work and use of its valuable resources here today, and to make City Hall beautiful. I would now like to introduce Milton Chaffee, Administrator of the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration and the Governor's Highway Safety Representative for the state of Maryland. Thank you very much.
So as Milton was good enough to speak earlier, I just want to wrap things up. And as Barry just said, we're all in this together. And also, we take it very personally here in College Park because we did experience deaths on our pedestrian areas along Route 1. I really took collaboration between Prince George's County, the University of Maryland, the State Highway Administration, and the police, both for Prince George's County and the University of Maryland, have done a great job of getting the message out to folks about pedestrian safety and driving safety. The 25 mile per hour speed limit that we've gone down to and 24/7 speed camera, we're serious about enforcing the law here. We're going to make sure that we're working towards zero fatalities. From now on, there's one death is too many. I really want to thank for the personal story because any families lost from this as was said before, these are people. These are not just statistics. I want to thank you for attending today. I also want to thank Mayor William Ewell, the mayor of Alexandria, to underscore the fact that this is truly a regional effort. This is not just a local effort. This is a regional effort, and we're proud to be part of it. Be on the lookout for street smart messages across the region. We also, as was mentioned, there is a street team that's delivering messages right here in this area. We've got an enforcement demonstration at Guilford and Route 1, and speakers today are going to be available after the event to take any questions. Thank you all for attending, and have a great day. Thank you.